I used to believe love was loud, that it announced itself with fireworks, dramatic confessions, and moments so obvious you could point to them and say, "That's it. That's love." I believed love was something that demanded attention. If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more real stories that stay with you long after the screen goes dark. I was wrong. Love, the real kind, entered my life quietly, like a habit I didn't realize I was forming until it was impossible to break. I met Daniel Carter on a Tuesday afternoon that felt painfully ordinary. The sky was gray, heavy with the kind of clouds that made the city feel smaller. I was 26, exhausted, and late for a CAF interview I didn't even want. My dream of becoming a writer had already started to feel childish, like something I should apologize for. Daniel was standing at the counter arguing, politely, with the barista. "I'm just saying," he smiled, "if it's called oat milk, it should taste like oats." The barista rolled her eyes. I laughed. Daniel turned around, surprised, like he hadn't expected an audience. Our eyes met. There was no thunder, no music, just a pause. "Back me up," he said. "I'm not crazy, right? It tastes like disappointment with a hint of oats," I replied. He laughed, really laughed, and that was the beginning. We talked while waiting for our drinks, then while drinking them, then outside the caf, leaning against the brick wall like neither of us had anywhere else to be. He was a civil engineer, new to the city, loved old movies, hated olives, believed pancakes were superior to waffles. He listened like what you said mattered. When my phone buzzed with a missed call from the CAF manager, Daniel glanced at it. "Interview?" "Yeah." "You going back in?" I looked at the door, then at him. "No," I said, surprising myself. He smiled like I'd made the right choice. We said goodbye casually, like strangers who might never meet again. But before I reached the corner, my phone buzzed. Daniel, Oat Milk Defender. I turned around. He was already walking away, hands in his pockets, like he knew. Love didn't crash into my life with Daniel. It unfolded. It was grocery store trips arguing over cereal, late-night walks where the city felt like it belonged to us, mornings where I woke up early just to watch his chest rise and fall. He remembered everything. The way I took my coffee, the fact that thunderstorms made me anxious, the book I loved when I was 12. "You notice too much," I told him once. "Someone has to," he said, kissing my forehead. I loved him more than life, not recklessly, but in the quiet, terrifying way where your future starts arranging itself around another person. We moved in together after a year. A small apartment with uneven floors and a balcony barely big enough for 2 chairs. "This is temporary," I said on move-in day. "Everything is," Daniel replied. "That's why it matters." I didn't know how true that would be. The first crack appeared quietly. Daniel came home late one night, not unusual, but something was off. His smile arrived a second too late. His laugh didn't reach his eyes. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah, work stuff." I believed him because love also means trust, or maybe because I didn't want to see the truth. Soon there were phone calls taken in other rooms, long silences after simple questions, that distant look, like he was listening to something I couldn't hear. One night I found him sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at his hands. "If I ever disappeared," he asked softly, "would you come looking for me?" My heart skipped. Of course I would. He nodded slowly. Okay, that should have scared me. It didn't. The last morning I saw Daniel, the sun was out. He made coffee, burned the toast, complained about the news. Normal. He kissed me longer than usual before leaving. "I love you," he said. "I love you more." He hesitated, like he wanted to say something else. Then he shook his head. "I'll see you tonight." He never came home. At first I wasn't worried. Then I was. Then I was frantic. Calls went to voicemail, texts unread, his location turned off. By morning I was at the police station. They used phrases like missing adult and no immediate danger. They told me to wait. Waiting became my life. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, no body, no goodbye, no answers. The apartment felt haunted by memories. His jacket still smelled like him. His mug stayed where he left it. People told me to be strong, to move on. I didn't want strength. I wanted Daniel. A year passed. Then, one night, while half asleep on the couch, the radio caught my attention. A voice. His voice. Calm. Familiar. Saying my name. I sat upright, heart pounding. The host thanked a guest who had called in anonymously. I drove to the station. They had no recording, no caller information, but I knew what I heard. Daniel was alive. I started digging. Work records showed he'd quit the same day he disappeared. His bank account had been drained, legally, carefully, not stolen. Then I found a storage unit. Inside were documents, fake IDs, medical files. Daniel Carter wasn't his real name. His real name was Michael Reyes, a whistleblower. He'd uncovered corruption in a construction firm tied to organized crime. He'd been warned, threatened. Disappearing wasn't abandonment, it was survival. The final clue led me to a small coastal town. I saw him at a grocery store, older, thinner, alive. Our eyes met. "Daniel," I whispered. He froze. "I never stopped loving you," he said, tears in his eyes. "I just couldn't let them use you to get to me." We sat on the beach until sunrise. Love hadn't died. It had waited. We couldn't go back. But we went forward. Together. Because love isn't loud. Sometimes it disappears, just to survive. Some stories end, but their lessons live forever. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.